8 o'clock on a Sunday. Regular crowd shuffles in. There's an old man, he's sitting next to me, making love to his tonic and gin. He said, son, can you play me a memory? I'm not really sure how it goes, but it's sad and it's sweet, and I knew it complete when I wore a younger man's clothes. La la la, la la la, la la la, la la la, la la. Sing us a song, you're the piano man. Sing us a song tonight. Well, we're all in the mood for a melody. I hope you are, and you've got us feeling all right. That's a pretty good crowd for us. All right, don't interrupt. For a Sunday. And the manager, there she is again. She's giving me a smile. 'Cause she knows that it's me. They've been, one more time. 'Cause she knows that it's me they've been coming to see, to forget about life for a while. Oh, and the piano, it sounds like a carnival, and the microphone, it smells like a beer. And they sit at the bar and put bread in my jar and say, man, what are you doing here? La la la, la la la, la la la, la la la, la la. Sing us a song, you're the piano man. Sing us a song tonight. Well, we're all in the mood for a melody, and you've got us feeling all right. Evening. I needed the shelter of someone's arms, and there you were. I needed someone to understand my ups and downs, and there you were. With sweet love and devotion, deeply touching my emotion. I wanna stop and thank you, baby. I wanna stop and thank you, baby. Oh, how sweet it is to be loved by you. How sweet it is to be loved by you. I close my eyes at night, wondering where I'd be without you in my life. Everything I did was such a bore. Oh, and everywhere I went, it seemed I'd been there before. But you brightened up for me all of my days with a love so sweet in so many ways. I wanna stop and thank you, baby. I wanna stop and thank you, baby. Hold on, how sweet it is to be loved by you. How sweet Deliberate mistake. Oh, how sweet it is to be loved by. How sweet it is to be loved by. How sweet it is to be loved by. Loved by Sue. And now we've got a piano thingy over here, right? Now you can see where I go wrong. I had no idea what I was playing then.
Playing it, I suppose.
Sorry?
It proves that
it does.
Can we dedicate that to all you lovely people? It is lovely to be loved by you all. So welcome this evening.
Oh, really?
It's
Okay.
fantastic to have you all here. And you're all coming in and saying hello, etc., 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 which is all wonderful.
I hope you're all well. And now we're just going to go to a wonderful somber song for tonight. And whenever I do shows around the country, and I've done them 500, 600, I can't even remember when we started touring. And now we always do this song. And this one, I'd like to actually dedicate it to Sylvia Newman, who's out there. The Newmans are watching as a family tonight. I saw Ben. Evening, Ben. How are you, matey? And I saw a picture of your wife. Not long to give birth, I believe. And also your sister, Emily, out there in Holland. She's going to be giving birth. There's going to be lots of birth around in that family. But Sylvia, you asked a few weeks ago for things by Gershwin and these kind of songs I think you like. You saw me a number of times at Glyndebourne, and for that, I thank you. And this one, here we go, you know it. Old Man River, that old Man River must know something. Don't say nothing. It just keeps rolling. Keeps on rolling along. He don't plant potatoes. He don't plant cotton. Them that plants them is soon forgotten. Oh, but Old Man River just keeps rolling along. You and me, we sweat and strain, body all aching and racked with pain. Tote that barge, lift that pail. You get a little drunk and you land in jail. Weary and sick of trying. I'm tired of living and I'm scared of dying. Oh, but Old Man River just keeps rolling along. sweat and strain, body all aching and racked with pain. Tote that barge, lift that bale, you get a little drunk and you land in jail. And sick of trying, I'm tired of living, and I'm scared of dying. Oh, but old man River, he just keeps rolling along, just keeps rolling.
Was big and powerful and thoroughly enjoyable. Thank you, JV. Can I also dedicate that to Colin Bohr, who says that he's in need of this evening. He's obviously had a difficult week, so Colin, we're thinking of you.
Hello, Colin, mate.
And also that you're 85 on Tuesday. I think that's amazing. And actually, he said the only gift he needs is us two, which is going to be difficult to find enough wrapping paper to wrap you up.
But all I'm going to say to you is you should get out more. Probably not. You can't get out more, because that's the point, isn't it, I guess? Colin, it's always good to hear from you online. You write frequently, and bless you. You're a great advocate for justice and peace, and I love you. I love it when you comment. You always make sense, and you make me laugh as well. So actually, I wasn't going to do this first, but I will do this now. Oh. So this is going to be just... if I can find it, because I wasn't going to do it, but I think I am going to do it, because here, this one for Colin is for you, and that's an awful lot of people out there. This is for us, it's week 11. What are we now?
Starting week 12. No, we've had week 12. We've done 12 weeks.
We've done 12. We've personally done 12 weeks. It's 11 weeks for most people, and it's been a long time. And so, this was a song sung by. Oddly, and it was so weird for me when I heard this when I was younger, and I didn't hear it until I was at least in my 20s, and it was a song associated with Sue's granddad, actually. And if you're out there, Auntie Norma and Auntie Veronica watching, who were his children, and we always used to go and play this at his centre. Do you remember the old people's centre in Barnes? And it was sung by Charlie Chaplin.
It was the old, the daycare centre, wasn't it? We used to go and do their Christmas show and their summer show.
And I haven't done this since that, which was probably 15 years ago. Smile, even though... Let's start again. I know how to ruin a perfectly good introduction. I do all that big thing for you, Colin. And
Ladies and gentlemen, here it is. Jonathan Veira singing Smile.
Smile, though your heart is aching. Smile, even though it's breaking. When there are clouds in the sky, you'll get by. If you smile through your fear and sorrow, smile and maybe tomorrow you'll see the sun come shining through for you. Light up your face with gladness. Hide every trace of sadness. Although a tear maybe ever so near. That's the time you must keep on trying. Smile, what's the use of crying? You'll find that life is still worthwhile if you just smile. Smile, though your heart is aching. Smile even though it's breaking. When there are clouds in the sky, you'll get by. If you smile through your fear and sorrow, smile and maybe tomorrow you'll see the sun come shining through for you. Light up your face with gladness. Hide every trace of sadness. Although a tear may be ever so near, that's the time you must keep on trying. Smile, what's the use of crying? You'll find that life is still worthwhile if you just smile. If you just smile.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. They like that one.
All right.
They like that
I
one.
think that's got to be in the lockdown album, isn't it? Come on.
Well, a lot of people love the song. And
really?
Angela Raby said that she thought that you would sing it well, and she was obviously right. So that's good.
That's nice.
So, yes, a lot of people love that one.
Just a few jokes for you, because I think actually just to put a smile on your face, because we haven't got many jokes. There's not a lot to be laughing at the moment,
lots.
but there's me, and I'm just going to read you just a few, okay, that have come through, because now don't stop sending me your funnies. Some of you have been sending me these, but they're not funny. All right?
Yeah, please send him some funny jokes.
Funny. All right? Here we go. These were from, and this is courtesy of and sponsored by John Bathgate up in West Kilbride, indeed. Hello to the Bathgate family up there. Aye, enough. So, 3 weeks ago I sent my hearing aids in for repair, and I've heard nothing since. Nick's going to be turning the radio off very soon, the phone off. I can't believe someone broke into my garage and stole my limbo stick. How low can you go? Yeah, all right. I'm just working. I'm working here. Okay, what's the difference between ignorance and indifference? I don't know and I don't care. That one appeals.
I quite like that one.
That one appeals to me. That's bang on, John. That's a big one. Now, okay, last one from the John. If you think swimming with dolphins is expensive, you should try swimming with sharks. Cost me an arm and a leg. Sick. All right, there's that one. I think where was the next one? I think Carol sent me one this afternoon, and it's on Messenger. Here we go. I've got so many. She wrote some jokes for you. Now I'm gonna question that that's true. Okay, there are just a few bits and bobs. I was in the jungle. No, not that. Forget when I was reading this book today, The History of Clue. I couldn't put it down. No, these are kind of the gags that I don't tell in my shows, okay? Because my sons have banned me. They just said that no. Right? This policeman came up to me with a pencil and a piece of very thin paper. He said to me, "I want you to trace someone for me."
That quite tickles me.
Oh, that's nice. I told my mum, this is for my mother, because she won't get this. Mum, you won't understand it. I'll send you an explanation sheet for all these jokes later on. I told my mum that I'd opened a theatre. She said, are you having me on? I said, well, we're giving an audition, but I'm not promising anything. You don't understand it, Mum. I said, don't bother, okay, just move on. I phoned the local builders today and I said, can I have a skip outside my house? He said, I'm not stopping you. That's quite good. That's quite good. Now, last thing, and Andy sent me, Andy Hatvarney, who's over in North London. He sent me...
He's our son's
father-in-law.
father-in-law.
So Matthew's father-in-law, my first... This one here.
No, right. Just underneath my pictures, they can't quite see.
Oh, they can't see. There. How about that
there
one? Yeah, can you see that one?
Just.
Yeah. There we go. Take that one.
No.
No, that's me. Sorry, that's him. So that's him there, right? That's Matthew. His father-in-law has sent me this. He said, managed to cycle all the way from Enfield to Rome during the lockdown. It's taken just over 70 days to cover the 1,823 kilometres, and all I now have to do is turn around and cycle home. Managed to complete the task, taking into account social distancing all the way. It's amazing what you can do on an exercise bike in the garage. Oh, I forgot to say that another goal was reached in losing a stone in weight.
Well done,
I would have
Andy.
lost more had I been able to have my hair cut. Thank you, Andy Hatvarney. That was very useful.
That's
right.
greater than his normal standard.
That is, actually. They're better than the normal
better
ones.
Than usual.
Right, this one, Sue.
Yes. Let's dedicate this to Veira and her husband. I don't actually know what Mr. Clay's name is, but you've just celebrated 50 years being married together in
50 years?
Lockdown. 50 years.
You're joking.
That's a very long time. So congratulations, both Veira and her husband. And
that's a long time, isn't it?
It is a long time, yes.
Can I just say, 50 years, I don't know if I'm going to make 50 years with you. I mean,
don't think you are either.
But I'm just saying. So well done. Have a little drink of water. This is going on the lockdown album, apparently. God on high, hear my prayer in my need. You have always been there. He is young, he's afraid. Let him rest, heaven blessed. Bring him home. He's like the son I might have known if God had granted me a son. The summers die one by one, how soon they fly, on and on, and I am old and will be gone. Bring him peace, bring him joy. He's young, he's only a boy. You can tell him leave. If I die, let me die. Let him leave. Bring him home. Bring him home. Bring him home.
Stunning. Absolutely stunning. My
What, do you
husband.
like it?
Yeah.
Do you like
it
it?
was just beautiful.
Are people
Absolutely
enjoying
beautiful.
it?
They are really enjoying it and really loving all the emotion that you're putting into the songs as well. And that was also for Linda Wilton. I think you asked for that last week or maybe even the week before, but there it is. It's
And
for you
also,
as well.
actually, and it isn't directly appropriate, but Les Sherlock, who's out there.
Oh, yes.
And I'm going to be, at some point in the future, interviewing his daughter out in South Africa, who's got a fantastic charity out there. Sometime in July, we're going to be talking to her, one of my special guests. And but Les, for you, I've had the piano. I had the piano tuned. I did.
Yes.
I'm just telling you.
And it stayed in tune for all of the first three songs.
Is it? Yes, it's one tune now. There we are.
Good.
So, over to you now.
Right. So last week we asked you to just quickly say where you were from. And we have such a clever pair of people that work for us on these events that actually Rachel has managed to put together a little piece that shows where you're all from and how you're all tuned in to us. So just watch this and enjoy it.
People get ready for the train to come. You don't need no baggage, you just get on board. All you need is faith to hear the diesel hum. You don't need no ticket, you just thank the Lord. People get ready, the train to Jordan, picking up passengers from coast to coast. Faith is the key, open the doors and borders. There's room for all among the loved and lost. Well, there ain't no room for the hopeless sinner who's heart of mankind just to save his own soul. Have pity on them whose chances are thinner, for there's no hiding place from the kingdom throne. Oh, people get ready for the train a-coming. You don't need no baggage, you just get on board. All you need is faith to hear the diesel humming. You don't need no ticket, you just thank the Lord. you need is faith to hear the diesel humming. You don't need no ticket, you just thank the Lord. People get ready for the train a-coming. You don't need no baggage, you just get on board. All you need is faith to hear the diesel humming. You don't need no ticket, you just thank the Lord. You don't need no ticket, you just thank the Lord. You don't need no ticket, you just thank the Lord. Don't need no ticket, you just thank the Lord. Well, how about that then?
Wasn't that amazing?
Was that impressive?
Just fantastic. Just a big round of applause to Rachel.
Very much so.
Together. Thank you so much, Rachel. She was right on the ball. Now, you're always talking about our girls. So here we have Rachel Lawrence, who is on all the sort of techie stuff. So she's relieved me of all that horrible stuff that I didn't like doing. And she's doing it for us. She's up in Barrow-in-Furness. And then we have Claire, wonderful Claire, who does all our graphics and so on. And she's the lady who came off her bike last week, but I've just been speaking to her and she's feeling a lot better. I think she said she's had a long week, and I can understand that. It's very difficult when your mouth is very sore, and it doesn't help that she works in a post office.
She has to say bubble wrap.
She can't say anything where the lips have to meet. So saying anything like parcels or boxes or bubble wrap.
Bubble wrap.
Say now. Just try saying bubble wrap without moving your lips.
Without moving your lips, okay? It's like...
So we love them, and we know that you love them too, and we could not be doing this without them. So we love you girls, and thank you very much.
Write in, just give them a big cheer, give them a big, a big hearts, lots of stuff. Write in and thank them. And also, can I just say, if you're out there and you were not included in that...
Yeah, you better tell us.
Write in and tell us where you are from. Write in and tell us right now. And I'm going to... go on.
And Claire has also just done a picture for us with the latest mugs to go out. So if you have not sent us your picture of yourself with your mugs, then you better send them soon so that we can get them up on a.
And some of you sent them and we didn't get them in on time.
So just
but we'll
make sure, if you've not seen your picture yet, make sure you send it to us again, and we will get Claire to put it up for us. So thank you very much. So Jonathan, what are you going to sing now?
Well, do you know what? I was going through all the music that I grew up with, and remember that I sung international opera, and I sung some of the most complicated music in the world, some of the most beautiful, and yet I was brought up on some of the most simple stuff, gospel music, and particularly crooners. I was brought up on the crooners, and the main crooner that we were allowed to listen to, because of course it had to be gospel, we couldn't listen. You could listen to country music, strange enough, but that was country gospel, which was, But the man that I always associate, and I love the voice, and somehow I've kind of, in some ways, aped him, was Jim Reeves. And Jim, there's a whole generation of young people have never heard of him. He was a huge hit, and Sue didn't hear him. She didn't know anything about him, but he was enormous in America and around the world.
In the car one day, Jonathan put on Jim Reeves' Greatest Hits. You have no idea how many greatest hits he had. It went on for a very long time.
But they only did them, and they lasted about 1 minute and 30 seconds, all of them. They had about 45. And we were sitting in the car with John and Liz Bathgate, who were brought up on the same stuff. Not Sue, but the three of us harmonised to these songs. And this song was very simple. They're very simple diatonic tunes. They're very la 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 la. Nothing much in them. The people in the band who played, the bass player must have wanted to kill himself. I mean, he spent years just going, oh, I've had holidays in shorter times when he changed chords. I mean, really. So it's just lovely. But the voice, he managed to get a career going with only about 6 notes. And I'd have to admire the man. And this one was, I listened to it, remarkable little sound that he makes. It goes like this. Welcome to my world. Won't you come on in? Miracles, I guess, still happen now and then. Step into my heart and leave your cares behind. Welcome to my world, built with you in mind. Knock and the door will be open. Seek and you will find. Ask and you'll be given the key to this world of mine. I'll be waiting here with my arms unfurled, waiting just for you. Welcome to my world. Waiting just for you. Welcome to my world. And I've lengthened it considerably.
And that one was for everyone who's watching for the first time tonight. I know that for many of you that is the case. So thank
right,
you.
Is that right? Hiya!
Welcome.
How are you doing?
And,
nice to see you.
Lovely to have you with us.
Okay, well...
And...
more?
Yes, I particularly want to say that one's for Heather and Karen, because Heather, I know you love that one, and that one is especially for you.
Probably the most depressing of his songs, but I thought I'd play it. Put your sweet lips a little closer to the phone. Let's pretend that we're together all alone. I'll tell the man to turn the jukebox way down low, and you can tell your friend there with you, he'll have to go. Whisper to me, tell me, do you love me true? Or is he holding you the way I do? Though love is blind, make up your mind, I'll have to know. Should I hang up, or will you tell him he'll have to go? You can't say the words I want to hear while you're with another man. Do you want me? Answer yes or no. Tell me, I will understand. Put your sweet lips a little closer to the phone. Your turn, sir. Let's pretend that we're together all alone. That's it. That's what she can do. I'll tell the man to turn the jukebox way down low, and you can tell your friend there with you, he'll have to go.
Good old Jim Reeves. It's 22.
22. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be interesting to talk about. I ummed and ahed and thought, do I talk about it? Do I not talk about it? It's a fun evening. And yet we have challenging times, don't we? And one of the most challenging times recently has been the death of George Floyd. And it's been quite interesting looking at the coverage. And it's, you know, he comes back and forward and it goes back and forward and between the right and left wing press and it's all the rest of it. But, you know, it struck me, it brought back all kinds of feelings for me. Sue said something to me. She said, tell your own story. My boys said, tell your story. They all said, we pray that you'll say the right thing, because I want to say the right thing about this. I don't want to jump in. Jeff Lucas today, he made a comment, and I thought, actually, I agree with it, that the marches all the way up there, they threaten people's lives by getting all together in those kind of numbers. And some of you were outraged by the numbers that were up there, that they were outraged, but I didn't see the outrage from people, not you particularly out there, but people in the press about the outrage of the death of George Floyd, or indeed countless others, black people who have died in America at the hands of the police in an unjustified situations. And it led me to say, I've lived my whole life. I've lived my life as, a brown person in a white world. All right? That's what I am. I want you to notice it's brown, okay? Here it is. There it is. There's my suntan, all right? All right, and the watch. But my skin is brown. When people say to me things like, oh, but we don't see you as brown, I find that quite offensive, actually, if you want me to be honest. When they say I don't see you as brown, I see you as a person, that's fine. But when they say I don't see you as brown, but we went to a church years ago when we first got married. We went up to a church in Greystoke near in the Lake District, and we went in for the Sunday morning service, and we sat in, and there was an article in the news sheet, and we went in, and we were one of about 15 people, and I came into the church, and quite noticeably so, and he said that the minister had been, in the church notice sheet, it said they'd been up, the minister had spent a week with some youngsters in Manchester, up the road, who were brown but lovable. Notice the word that was more crucial, but lovable. And I sat in that church and I felt as though I wanted to disappear down into the hole, because was I brown but lovable? But lovable. And if they didn't know me, how would that look? I've had horrific incidences that I don't even know whether I want to relay them to you over the years, of being beaten, threatened with stabbings, called names that I can't repeat on here. I remember being in a pub with my brother-in-law, Martin, years ago when I was about 1980, and we were in a pub in Maidenhead, and I walked in and we were having a drink, and the publican behind the bar said something along the lines of, and this is going to be slightly shocking, so just stand by. He said, I think I can smell wog in here. And I looked around, and the guy talking to him said, yes, I can smell it too, and I don't like it. And Martin, my brother-in-law, very, very wisely got me out. He said, don't respond. Don't respond. They want you to respond. And so I've had my whole life where I've been living often in a place where I didn't feel that I fitted in. I remember turning up to 10 Downing Street, and I was the brown guy. You understand? And I turned up and I thought, I don't know whether I belong here. It takes me time. In an opera house, I didn't often belong. I was one of very, very few people of colour in my business. And So when I see people talk about it as if, come on, everything, that it doesn't matter. Sue said something very interesting, that you talked about all lives matter. It was the Black Lives Matter. You're talking about the prodigal son. Could you just relay that?
Yes, I read a very helpful thing that was talking about, and we say Black Lives Matter, and we often say and all lives matter. Yes, they do actually, but what we're talking about here is that Black Lives Matter. And this particular piece was talking about the father and the prodigal son, and holding up a placard, and something about prodigal sons' lives matter, and the other brother saying, "Hang on a minute, all sons' lives matter." And he said, "Yes, son, they do, but today it's not about you."
Very strong.
And I found that.
And today
I found
it's
that
about
very helpful, actually.
that. And it's about today, knowing that actually the guy died, and there are various reports coming out about he's not being a good guy, whether he's a good guy or a bad guy. Christians have a different way of looking at life. And racism is anathema, as the Archbishop of Canterbury has just tweeted out. It is anathema to us as Christian people. All right? There's no ifs or buts or maybes. It's not about feeling superior. Do you know in America, a slave was a black person, and my great-grandmother on my mother's side was black, okay? So I want to be able to stand historically with her, and a black person was considered 2/3 of a man. In other words, not fully human. Can you grasp that just for a moment, that that's what people like me feel, not actually fully human? And certainly, the last thing that I remember experiencing, which will horrify you, I was up in a church in Ayr many years ago, and we did a concert, and I was there standing with Sue, and a guy came up, a big bloke. He said, "Aye, I became a Christian." He said, it changed my life, but and when I was in the BNP, the British National Party, he said, "We target people like you." I said, "What?" He said, "Aye, we'd find where you live, we target your children, we target your house, we'd put things through the letterbox, we'd terrify you, we'd terrify your wife, we'd call her names, we'd do things." This is the world that we're living in, all right? And so I ask you I don't know, I definitely don't want your sympathy, but I want you to consider carefully your response as a Christian. Don't get upset about the protest, get upset about the thing, okay? And that we try, and as much as we can, we look at people as they are, see everyone through heaven's eyes. I'm going to sing that song later on. And the song that, actually, it was very interesting. If you just want to put the camera over here on the keyboard. Something I watched, a black singer from America, he was talking about this. I hadn't even thought about it. There were different scales, so you get, that's called the diatonic scale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and that's the one we, "Bar, bar, black sheep, have you in the wool? Yes, sir, yes, sir, 3 bags full." So we sing those normal songs. But there's something called the pentatonic, pent meaning 5, and it's the pentatonic scale. And this is a scale that was much used in ethnic songs right across the world, from Africa to Arabia, China. 5. And a lot of the Negro spirituals that you will know them as something like, "Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home." That one, all on those 5 notes. And what are those 5 notes? I just find it's just a lovely irony. They're all the black notes, all right? So all those songs, steal away, steal away, steal away to Jesus. Steal away home. He's got the whole world in his hand. He's got the whole wide world in his hands. He's got the whole... There we go. And a song that I did, slightly funny story about this. I was doing it at a friend's funeral. Her husband had died, and she asked me to come and sing this. I've never sung it before. And this book, which was given me, Zena Baker, if you're out there in France, in Toulouse, your mother gave me this in 1983, I think it was. And here it is, a book of Negro spirituals. And it's the first time I'd ever sung it at this funeral. And when we got there, the church was terribly dark. I couldn't see anything, and my eyesight's not so good. So it was going, deep river, my home is over Jordan. Deep river, Lord, I want to cross over. And I couldn't quite see the thing. I was squinting. Over into campland. And it's not campland, it's campground. Campland sounds like, it's like, I don't know, Disneyland. Right? And then once I'd sung it once, I had to sing it 100 times. But that was, again, on the pentatonic scale. Lay down, I'm gonna lay down my burden. I'm gonna lay down my burden. And on those 5 notes, all right? And this one, this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, same thing. This little light of mine, 5 notes, all the black notes. One that you probably won't be even have thought about, and I hadn't even thought about it, which is one of probably the most famous of all of them. And this would have been heard. It was written by the words. It says in the bibliothèque in America, the very famous American library. The words are by John Newton, who was famously a ship's captain, a slave captain. And he wrote and it says tune anonymous. And it turns out many musicologists feel that while he was there, up at the top, he was listening to the slaves underneath because the slaves would be singing. Laments. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. This is for so many people, Sue, isn't it?
Yes, this is for a lot of people. This is for Angela tonight, and for Emily, our goddaughter, and for a number of people who've identified it already.
And actually, it's the amazing grace that as Christians, we believe binds us together, right? That's what binds us together in this unity. The amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch. And I pray that actually that song will touch lives, and churches in America and in this country will really kind of embrace each other in a different way. It doesn't take deaths and killing, but we show mercy and we love grace that God has given us. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see. 'Twas grace that taught my heart to fear, and grace my fears relieved. How precious did that grace appear the hour I first believed. Through many dangers, toils and snares, we have already come. 'Tis grace has brought me safe thus far. Grace will lead me home. Oh, when we've been there 10,000 years, bright shining as the sun. Days to sing God's praise than when we first began. And when we first began. Just world, I think.
Amen.
Why don't we watch a video?
Okay, we can watch a video.
Here we go. Watch this. This is behind the scenes. This is it. I've kind of noticed this is Sunday, and we've got one more rehearsal on Thursday, and that's it. Then we're recording.
So this time in a week, where will you be?
On a beach in the Bahamas. Okay. You want to try this? Here we go. Take guitar. It's going to take time to get the guitar on, you know, everybody. Alright, everybody, here we go. A little bit of hillbilly for ya. Yeah. Come on, clap your hands. That's right.
How's everything going for you?
All right, thank you. A bit weary. I've been out at All Souls this morning to sell tickets after the two services.
Do Lord, oh do Lord, oh do remember me. Do Lord, oh do Lord, oh do remember me. Do Lord,
Matt.
oh do Lord, oh do remember me.
Hi.
Have you got any?
Matt, how you doing? You alright?
Good, how are you?
I'm very well. I mean, you've been working hard.
Been working like a dog.
And what have you been working on?
A bit of guitar, a bit of singing, a bit of just general musicianship, really. It's been good, it's been good.
Yeah?
Yeah, family is good. I like a lot of the songs. People Get Ready is a favourite of mine.
Yeah.
I get to slam out a sick solo.
Slamming. Okay, so it's Thursday the 14th, I think. And today is our practice day and taking the equipment down. Pete, you're a family friend? Yeah.
I'm more than a family friend. My involvement, I'm on the door.
You say you're the doorman.
You could put it that way, yeah.
Okay, what do you think of this gig? I mean...
Oh, I haven't seen it yet.
Jesus was, when Jesus was, when my Jesus was.
Do you enjoy doing these Veira gigs?
Yeah, I've been doing them for a long time, so it's kind of it's nice to know a lot of the arrangements and to be able to play them and feel comfortable, and then to be able to play outside of that is quite a nice thing. It is sounding pretty fat actually with a PH, because I just have to clarify. It's sounding. It's got quite a full sound. You're not even watching me when you're interviewing me.
I am.
I find that offensive. No, when we add the orchestra and all the other pieces, it is sounding really great. And because usually when we play as a family, we've got just the core band of us to be able to have this extra sound, these extra layers and these textures and these colours in the music.
That's all. And when Jesus is
Matthews, you've been a friend of the family for how many years now?
I've known you all since Matt was 1.
Wow.
So, 24 years, yeah.
Would you say that's far too long to have known the Veira family?
Far too long, yeah. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I'm going to be there on a Friday night taking photos. I think the roof is going to lift off.
I'm just incredibly excited about it, really. I'm thrilled that we've got here. I'm just very excited for so many people to be there to enjoy the fun, and of course for me it's an incredibly proud moment to see my husband and my 3 sons up there playing together and doing what I know you all do so incredibly well. So.
It's the most intense one we've done actually, because it's so many people involved. A lot of people, 16 people in the orchestra, the band is, and backing singers 9. So you're talking about nearly 30 people on stage. We've done all the arrangements. Many of them are from the recordings that we've done already. But creating, often practice is the most fun. I always find rehearsing is the most fun because you get to put it together. You see it when it starts from a little bit and then building it until it becomes a confident. Piece of music that you can perform.
Do you yourself think you're funny?
I'm hilarious because without me, the children that I have, the 3 children, would not be the people that they are. I'm hilarious. That's what the Times said. I was a comic genius. So just leave me alone.
Yeah, but this is the Times.
That's the Times. It's true. What about the Independent then?
Definitely not.
They can't all be wrong, can they? Now, am I actually funny? I don't know.
Oh, cat!
Timing, you see, is everything.
In Jurassic 5, I see 5 and things to the flesh, trying to get dressed, hit the deck, and we'll pop the trunk, plus escaping your cassette.
Oh, as a vibe and fish and sea, cause that's my mission, see, and that's my fish and sea, cause I'm a...
Yes, sir.
Have you sung with him a lot in the past?
We've done some studio work.
I like Your Majesty. Yeah. King of Kings.
That one is.
I love that one.
Is calling out to me, but also I think People Get Ready.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
So smooth.
Yeah. No, it's been an experience and a half, and I'm so glad to be part of it. I was saying that to John this morning, Jonathan. That he said, "You're quiet. Why are you so quiet?" I said, "Actually, I'm just taking it all in because I feel privileged to be here."
On a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you like Jonathan Veira?
No, listen, I'm a big fan. He's got to be a 9 and 9 and a.
Don't say nothing.
That's the first time we played that song. That's good.
Absolutely bricking it. I'm scared I've been about it. Why don't I just get it? What's that?
See you later.
This
is just a dress rehearsal.
Just a dress rehearsal, yeah. No pressure. No pressure at all. Hello, Mum. Bye.
I say break a leg, but no.
Update's got back.
Well, that was fun. Fun to see that again. Hope you enjoyed it. That was from when we did the concert up at All Souls, which was 2013. And we asked Nick, who's the youngest, to do a sort of behind-the-scenes video. And typical of Nick, he he was a tad quirky when he was doing it. But it was fun. It was fun. And it's good to see the boys without their beards because we haven't seen their faces for years.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think Jonathan's about to ring someone.
Hello?
The bishop, who was from Liverpool, walk on, with hope in your heart, and you'll never walk alone. You'll never walk alone. Oh yeah! Now you haven't ever had that introduction. You don't get that from Chris Evans. You don't get that on Radio 4. So tell me you don't get it. You don't, do you?
We don't need it. 25 points ahead.
And I knew you'd say something like that. See, I can't tell you how much I don't care. It's like, right? So, yeah, because whenever we get together,
soon, Jonathan.
Whenever we get together, you always talk about the football, don't you? And you always think as though I understand these things, but isn't that the game where they just fall down if somebody touches them? Whereas rugby, somebody bites somebody's legs up and they hop for the rest of the game. All right.
Well, I couldn't tell you. I don't watch it. I just watch the football. It's
how are
you? Got to get your right shaped ball, haven't you?
That's the key. That's the key. How are you? Are you well?
Yeah, I'm all right. Freezing actually up here in Leeds.
Well, of course it is.
I don't know why. It's been. The weather's changed.
You need to move down south, mate. You need to move down south.
Hey?
You need to move down south. God's own country. God's own country. God's own country.
We tried living in the south for 11 years, but we came back up north.
You came up there because you were too hot, weren't you? You were just.
And we're going to stay here.
All right. Calm down. Now we go back a little bit. Sue is going.
Hello, Sue.
Hello.
Hiya.
Now,
Nick and I go back the furthest because Nick is married to one of my closest friends from university. And so I knew Nick before Jonathan knew him.
A callow youth, was he not? And
I think you were 18, Jonathan, when I met you.
I think you're right, actually.
And you haven't changed. But you haven't changed a bit.
I was cradle snatching, wasn't I?
Yes, but you were the bridesmaid, weren't you?
I was their bridesmaid, nearly 40 years ago, isn't it, Nick?
40 years on the 2nd of August.
Oh my word!
Yeah.
How did we end up getting so old, Nick? What happened to us? What happened?
Well, I don't know, but I was going to ask you: is your hair growing while we're in lockdown?
What I've done is baby bio, my friend, baby bio, and apparently, now this is true. this has been recommended. You rub baby bio into it, right? And then you hang over the edge of the bed for around about an hour a day. All right? And apparently, all the blood running to it with baby bio, it could work within about 60 to 70 years.
See, I was telling you haven't changed a bit, have you? No, I tell you what we did. As soon as we went into lockdown, and we've got my mother with us over from Liverpool. She's been with us for 3 months.
I'm so sorry.
She's 88. And we got a young Austrian student who's with us for the year, and she couldn't get home. So, and I'm losing my hair, but
are you?
There was enough to look a bit of a mess. So I bought some clippers over the internet, and when they came, they had two sort of attachments to go on them. One was for hair, and the other one was for beard. So we put it on the lowest measurement wherever it was for hair, and it didn't take anything off.
Right.
So we put the beard one on at a slightly higher setting. And Linda went up behind me in the back garden, and I said, "We'll start in the back," and she did, and all I heard was, "Oh dear."
Yes, actually no.
And I think we're on a size half now.
Can I tell you, Nick? This is absolutely true. That's exactly what Sue went out and bought a new Remington, as you do, right? We hadn't spent loads of money, so it was a bit of shopping. And she said, "Oh, you need your hair cut. Yours is awful." And she went out and bought this thing, and we were out in the garden, and she's behind me doing it. She went and she did the same thing. she took the guard off. And she said, "I'll just nip that up." And she went whoomp, straight at the back. She went, "Oh, oops was her word." So she said, "Well, nobody will see it." She said, "You'll never." And anyway, you don't see it. So, Nick, enough about this. We've known each other for a long time, and I wanted you on the show. There are thousands of people who are listening out here who know you from such things as Chris Evans on Radio 2. You did that for a long time, still do Radio 2. You do Thought for the Day. You often hear the Bishop of Leeds. Now, is it Bishop of Leeds and is there another title?
No. It's always been Bishop of Leeds since we created the diocese 6 years ago. But we were known as the Diocese of West Yorkshire and the Dales until I was doing the Chris Evans show. We knew it wasn't working. We had to change it.
Yes.
And for a bit of name dropping, I was given Professor Brian Cox my email address, and he started laughing when it was bishop.nick@westyorkshiredales.anglican.org. So the following week, I was doing the Chris Evans show, and there were I can't remember who was in there. There were 4 sort of famous guests, and at the end he said, "So that's Nick Baines, Bishop of. Where are you the Bishop of?" And he's known me since I was Croydon, Bradford, and now Leeds. So I said, "Leeds," and he said, "Yeah, but you've got a load of other places, haven't you?" And I said, "Well, we were known as West Yorkshire and Dales, but that, it's gone." He said, "Whoever made that decision, will you thank them from me?" So this is exactly how it happened. I got out the studio and I rang my director of communications and said, "Change it now."
Yeah.
And make, we've got the sanction, get this up on Twitter.
So you're now Bishop of Leeds.
We went through the grief, but I was always legally the Bishop of Leeds, and it was always the Diocese of Leeds.
Well, you cover a lot of stuff, and what I've always known, when you did a degree in linguistics, in languages at Bradford, and you studied all over, and you spend a lot of time out in Deutschland because you you speak Russian. You coached me, I believe, once on my Russian. Do you remember that?
I do, because the stress is massive.
It was massive.
Yeah.
I was doing it at Glyndebourne, if you remember, for a recording, and I didn't know anybody else who spoke Russian, and so I came over to your office, if you remember, and we.
Yeah.
I can't imagine, Nick, that there was much in your vocabulary that was suitable for Jonathan, was it? In terms of Russian?
It was all.
Well, when I was working in Russian at GCHQ, and I can't say very much about this, I did learn, because we had a particular dictionary, 3-volume dictionary, I learned a lot of swear words and obscenities. And it's a very rich language, but it didn't come up much in opera, and it certainly didn't come up much in church.
So bang goes that, straight out of the window. That's no good. Yes, and that you touched on that, indeed. You've had some varied experiences in your life. You are a man of many parts, and it's always a regret of mine that we didn't spend much more time together, but you're so busy these days with so much going around the country, and you're sitting a lot. I just wanted to narrow down a little bit about what you're doing at the moment, because in lockdown, of course, you can't travel that much. What's the procedure with the Lords, and are you there?
Well, the House of Lords is sitting as a hybrid house.
Yeah.
It was entirely virtual, but because of the limitations of that, it's quite complex technically. So every week in the House of Lords, when we're sitting, there's a bishop on duty. We do prayers in the morning, and then you're on duty. So the bishop on duty for the week is the one, if we want to ask supplementary questions, which now have to be tabled, if you want to speak in a debate, then, my view, several bishops have done it, but my view is use the bishop who's already on duty, and it just keeps everything simple. So I've not been going in. I've been following business in the House, but I haven't actually
been in there. But you've been...
No,
you've
and
certainly been... Now, do you recognise this? I'm just going to... because I want to kind of move it on a little bit. Do we accept being led to a position, being treated by a PM as... I've got mugs, I've got JV mugs right on my top here. Being treated by the PM as mugs, what are we to teach our children? Now, you put that out, you became a target in saying so. You've often stood up and said things that nobody else wants to say, got shot down by various people for saying it. But what I was wanting to concentrate on really was the last phrase. What are we to teach our children? So what that headed towards was a bigger moral question. I mean, is that what you exist to? Because a lot of people out there don't know what you as a bishop exist to do. What is your role in society?
Well, let me just say that asking questions about public discourse and integrity and honesty in politics is not new. You know, I've been asking questions for a while.
Indeed.
Because now what's been interesting in the backlash that I personally have had from all of this, and it's been pretty brutal, is the number of people who say, you know, the Bible speaks about compassion, it speaks about, you know, love, and I should show more compassion, and I should be, you know, doing what the Bible says and bringing good news and hope and all of that. Well, I'm afraid the Bible says an awful lot about social order, the right ordering of society, about justice, and about you know, the need for integrity amongst those who set the rules.
Yes.
Now, you can't get away from that. I've just recorded something to go out on a cathedral website tomorrow, where the reading and morning prayer tomorrow is, in the Anglican lectionary, is the Beatitudes. And the Beatitudes, you know, if it's blessed are these, then the implication is you're not blessed if you're not like that. And the same goes for the Magnificat. If the mighty are brought low and the meek are raised up, then the gospel of Jesus Christ is good news for some and it's bad news for others. Yeah. And you can't get away from that. But if you dare to raise that, and of course, you know, the other objection I've had is that Christians, and particularly bishops, should stay out of politics. Yes. Well, politics is about the right ordering of society and the well-being of people. Now, if bishops are to keep out of that, there's not much of the Bible left, because we'll have shredded most of it. And I'm denying not just the options I have, but the responsibilities I have as a bishop. Now, I would also say I don't always get it right. You know, and this is part of the nature of the world we're in at the moment and the speed of information. So, you know, did I get it right in this instance? I certainly don't regret asking the questions, because I have been asking them repeatedly over the last 5-6 years. You know, could I have done it differently? Yeah, of course I've done. Again, I'll just tell you a quick story. I was once doing Thought for the Day on Radio 4, and it was when Stephen Gerrard had just announced that he was going to retire from Liverpool. And I wanted to do it on loyalty. The producer persuaded me, the editor persuaded me to do it on Islam and, you know, interfaith stuff. So I said, well, it'll be a bit bland, but I'll do it. So I did it. 2 hours after it went out, we had the Charlie Hebdo shootings in Paris. And I got absolutely slaughtered on social media. And then Charles Moore went for me in the Telegraph the next day, very personally. And I saw him a few weeks later and I said, you know, do you think I'd have written that if I'd known what was going to happen 2 hours later? You know, you always look back and think, could I have done it differently? Would I have done it differently? I wouldn't change the substance, but, you know, in some things, you know, clearly it would have been, you know, it could have been done differently.
No, Nick, that's a good answer. And actually, I think that humility in the face of it, and this is, you know, as public figures, we are given a platform, and there's no doubt that we feel strongly about certain things. You and I know, I feel strongly about certain areas, and you tempered me the other day when we were talking about this, and I thought, well, actually, yeah, you're right. Don't catastrophize. I tend to catastrophize. You're in a position where you can't catastrophize, and it's important that we don't. Listen, just hold it right there. We always put a song right in the middle so that because it's all, this is heavy dialogue, mate. You know, most of our people, they want a bit of I say. That's what they want, really. And so what we're going to do, we're going to sing a little song that actually, it talks about, during this time, about being an old carol from the Tapestry album, and we sing this together, and it goes like this. When you're down and troubled, and you need some love and care, and nothing is going right. Close your eyes and think of me, and soon I will be there to brighten up even your darkest night. You just call out my name, and you know wherever I am, I'll come running to see you again. Winter, spring, summer or fall, all you gotta do is call, and I'll be there. Yes, I will. You've got a friend. The sky above you grows dark and full of clouds, and that old north wind begins to blow. Keep your head together now and call my name out loud, and soon I'll be knocking at your door. You just call out my name, and you know wherever I am, I'll come running to see you again. Winter, spring, summer or fall, all you gotta do is call, and I'll be there. Yes, I will. Now ain't it good to know that you've got a friend? When people can be so cold, they'll hurt you and desert you, and you'll take your soul if you let them, but don't you let them. So you just
call out my name, and you know wherever I am, I'll come running to see you again.
Winter, spring, summer or fall, all you gotta do is call, and I'll be there. Yes, I will. You've got a friend. Oh, darling.
You got a friend.
Oh, my sweet darling.
You got a friend.
Oh, my sweet darling. You got a friend. Oh, you got a friend. Last time. You got a friend. Okay, one more time. Just last time, absolutely last time. You got a friend. Oh my word, Carole King Tapestry. We've got the Bishop of Leeds on the phone, Nick Baines. Nicholas, how lovely to have you. Yes, it's not often you get called that either, is it? And get away. It's usually your grace. People kiss your hands and everything, don't they? I know, they bend before you. And we would do that, but I'm just never going to do it. All right? It's never going to happen, okay? Just so that you know. We've been on this extraordinary journey politically over the last few months. And actually, many people are feeling tired, they're feeling weary. And then George Floyd, I talked a lot about him. I don't want to talk too much about it, but I would love to hear your take on where we are as a country, as a nation, how we're feeling. What are you feeling about it all?
Well, I'm mixed, really. I think we're in a pivotal place and possibly a dangerous place. But the place of danger is also the place of hope, because we have some agency in what happens. I watched the a video of Sir Edward Colston being, his statue being pulled down in Bristol,
Colston,
where we used to live, the old slave trader, and now lots of calls for, similar things to happen elsewhere. And you've got this contradiction. We're in the middle of a pandemic. We've been telling people stay at home. This is really contagious. It's really difficult. The R rate is going up. And then we get these big demonstrations where clearly there isn't much physical distancing. And then you want to say, well, it's absolutely right to demonstrate about this stuff, but it's conflicted. Nothing is straightforward, is it? I come from Liverpool. There's a load of streets there, including Penny Lane, are named after slave traders. Yeah. And what are they going to do? Change them all? How do you turn what was originally intended as a celebration of civic virtue into a lesson which we must all learn? And I've been watching some of the stuff today just on my phone and thinking, if I am racist. I mean, hands on heart, I can't see how anyone can say they're not. But it's not the open admission that worries me. It's the blind spots and the hidden points. And you start thinking, have I said stuff? Not thinking I'm racist. Have I done things I didn't think were racist, but are? And now you look at them in a different light. So the place we're in at the moment is an opportunity not just for, changing the discourse, but I think also for doing a bit of self-examination and asking, can we look differently because of the events going on at the moment and therefore change the way we are? That's what I feel at the moment.
Well, yeah, I mean,
it's a journey.
In that sense, I do see one has to, I think, hope. You wrote a book, Hungry for Hope, many years ago, one of the most moving books I think I've read. And it was a lot to do with personal experience, a lot to do with all those very, very difficult times. And it came, the goodness came out of the journey that you had to go through. Is there some sense in which that is what we are learning so much about society, as in the way we operate together? Our road is a microcosm of that here, our wonderful people in this road. And while I'm here, just remembering Pauline and Bill at the end of the road, who's not been well at all. We've learnt to look after each other, Nick, in a way that actually would come out on a Thursday. And that Thursday transmuted into a party, a distancing party. We sat and we just stayed there for 6 hours, talking, learning about each other's lives, helping where we could, doing things in a way that is different, which nobody wants to go back to how it was before, when nobody knew, they literally didn't know each other's names. And they'd lived here for 32 years, So I think that's that the journey has changed people. Is it similar? Do you think there's something going to happen?
Well, I was talking to someone recently, actually from the BBC, and saying, who is not a Christian, and was saying that the narratives that we go back to, that I go back to, in trying to understand the present world and reality and human experience, our narratives go back nearly 3,000 years, and what they're full of, in the scriptures, is a people who are trying to work out what God, the world, and us looks like. And they keep having to develop it and they keep losing the plot. But some of the most significant things happen in deserts, in the places of leaving behind and loss, where they don't know what they're moving on to. Right from Abraham and Sarah, right at the beginning, they're sent on their way, but they know where they're leaving from. They don't know what they're moving to. And one of the people I quote in that book, Hungry for Hope, is an Asian theologian called Kosuke Koyama. And he writes quite movingly about how when we go into the desert, and I think we are going into an economic desert, a social desert in many ways, uncharted territory for us, although it's the reality that many people live with around the world all the time. but we're going into uncharted territory. When you go into the desert, the first thing that happens is you have to slow down. And it's only when you slow right down to walking pace and the blur of life, the busyness, the routine, being driven by the diary, all of that stops. That's when you see where God is, and he's actually walking at 3 miles an hour. He ceases to be the blur outside the windscreen. So I think, the hope lies in us being alert as we go through this time. This sounds a bit twee, but I'll say it anyway. But to look for the flowers that grow only in the desert, not to go around looking for daffodils in the middle of the desert, because you'd be perpetually disappointed. So what can we learn about God, the world, and ourselves while we're going through all of this, rather than just taking sides on everything? What can we learn that will help us shape what's to come, like the people of Israel? 40 years, 400 years in Egypt in captivity, and then 40 years in the desert, till the romanticizers, the whingers, the moaners, and the people could only look back until they died off. And then they go into the unknown territory that lies ahead of them, but with very clear instructions as to how they will shape their lives for the common good.
Yeah.
And they mess it up, and the story goes on, and we're the same. So we read ourselves and our current situation into that. But I've just written something today. It's gone on my blog because today is Trinity Sunday in the church.
Yes.
And the Trinity is about that network. It's actually a phrase used of Boris Johnson by his headmaster. A network of mutual obligations that bind us together. And that's inherent theologically in the Trinity, but it also says something about our obligations to each other in the church and within wider society.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's a bit heavy.
That was heavy, but actually it's very, very relevant what you said, and I think actually a lot of people are going to take a lot of hope from that, because people tune in to this show now. They tune in for hope. Actually, they come in to listen for words of hope. They realise, they can often recognise the desperation, but they're looking for something actually that will take them beyond. And also, somebody said to me the other day, from Australia, Lucas, you said something to me. You're listening in Melbourne right now this morning for you, and you said you've learned to live in the now. You've learned to enjoy the manna for today, and that thing. Sue and I have found. I tell you what, Nick. I don't know how you feel about. Jeff Lucas said this to me. He said, "You ask me how I feel. It depends what time of day you ask me."
Yeah.
And,
yes. Same. Yeah.
And that's it. And so sometimes I wake up and I feel great, and so actually trying to enjoy the now, the moment, the flower, the wind when it's blowing, the beauty of the sun, the relationship that you have with your mother, your wife, the friend from Austria. It's all those things. You've been a real boon actually tonight, and I think a lot of people would have found you really, really helpful and an encouragement. So thank you for giving your time up, which I know is very precious.
Pleasure.
And we bless you and send our love to all our children, all your children, not our children, your children, and
will do.
Some of whom are godchildren. And Sue, do you want to say anything before you go?
Just give my love to Linda.
I will do. She's next door with my mother.
Yeah, right.
So I'll go and join them.
Okay, go and watch Pole Dark. I'm the man who puts the dark into Pole Dark. Okay.
Look, great to talk to you,
bless
Jonathan.
You, mate. God bless. See you. Bye-bye now.
See you, Sue.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Great. Well done. Nice one. That was nice, Nick. Now, Bishop, good bloke. I'm going to actually this one. You'll know it. Across the changes through the years, eternal God, your love comes down to lead us on. So as we walk with you, our every step is holy ground. You are the God of endless love, the Lord of every time and place. You are the hope beyond our humanness. This is the promise of your grace. And we will seek to know you more in every word of every prayer. And you will keep your timeless faithfulness through every breath. You will be there. You are the God of endless love, the Lord of every time and place. You are the hope beyond our humanness. This is the promise of your grace. Doubts and fears come closing in, we lean on you when strength may fail. And Father God, you pour your Spirit down, the clouds will clear, the truth prevail. You are the God of endless love, the Lord of every time and place. You are the hope beyond our humanness. This is the promise of your grace. This is the hope for all the world. The nails that held God in our place. This is the love that brings forgiveness. This is the promise. This is the promise. This is the promise of His grace. Now that song was for Adrian Pinnock and all of the people in the Isle of Wight. Once again, Tracy, who hurt her finger by putting, I think she put her finger in.
She put it in boiling gravy.
Boiling gravy.
How did you do that,
Now,
Tracy?
I'd recommend you don't put your finger in boiling water. But I know you're a diabetic and you've got to be careful how you mend that, careful. Okay? All right, very careful. We're thinking of you. This song, Thorns in the Straw, my only number one hit on iTunes for 2 weeks over Christmas. What are the first words? Since the day the angel came. It's very Christmas. Somebody asked for this, and I said, well, it's ridiculous. We're in the middle of June.
It's for June. Hazel Buckland. Jane Bailey has suggested you from Elstead Baptist. So. Oh
right, okay. Well, I don't know how to kind of get myself in the mood for Christmas, to be honest. And I just thought,
perhaps this will help.
What's this? Oh, don't be ridiculous. Goodness sake, Sue. Did you just do this? You are... Look, they're all bashed up. They're broken. It's all...
Stop moaning. You wanted a Christmas tree, you got a Christmas tree in June.
Since the day the angel came, it seemed that everything had changed. The only certain thing was the child that moved within, on the road that would not end, winding down to Bethlehem. So far away from home. just a blanket on the floor of a vacant cattle store. And there the child was born. She held him in her arms, and as she laid him down to sleep, she wondered, will it always be? So bitter yet so sweet. And did she see there in the straw by his head a thorn? And did she smell mine in the air on that starry night? And the words of the ancient seers tumbled down the centuries. A virgin shall conceive, God with us, Prince of Peace. Man of sorrow, strangest name, O Joseph, there it comes again. So bitter yet so sweet. And did she see there in the straw by his head a thorn? And did she smell myrrh in the air on that starry night? And as she watched him through the years, her joy was mingled with her tears. She'd feel it all again, the glory and the shame. And when the miracles began, she wondered, who is this man? And where will this soul end? Till against the darkening sky, the son she loved was lifted high. And with his dying breath, she heard him say, Father, forgive. And to the criminal beside, today with me in paradise. So bitter yet so sweet. And did she see her in the straw by his head a thorn? And did she smell myrrh in the air on that starry night? And did she hear angels sing not so far away? Till at last the sun rose blood red in the morning sky. I was thinking I couldn't remember the words.
Beautiful,
then.
beautiful. And as they were quite rightly saying, it's not just a Christmas song. It's a song for all year round.
It is.
It's a song not just for Christmas.
And I want to sing one more song with you, which is... because I think the time is coming up. It's now... Gosh, look at the time.
Always flies by.
This one... And this one, and I'd like to sing that last song, please, for Joe, whose birthday is today.
Yes, Joe Hilton.
Joe Hilton, you must be at least 25, and she's got a little baby. Is that right?
Yes, Maggie Rose.
Maggie Rose.
Are we thinking that it was also Philip's birthday?
Phil
Saunders.
Phil Saunders. I think it's your birthday today, and if it isn't,
we'll save it for next week.
But we'll wish you happy. Somewhere down in Devon, somewhere, with your glorious tractor. He's got a vintage tractor that he polishes every day. You're very sad. That's what I've got to say to you, Philip. I'll cry. And anybody else that... who else?
This one's for David Hicks for his anniversary.
David
and
Hicks.
Also for another anniversary this week was John and Fiona Dick was their anniversure.
Happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary.
17 years for them. And David Hick, you must be at least 40 or 50 years married. I can't. You're very old. No, I'm quite young. But David, this is for you. And you were listening to a lot of Paul Field stuff for years, apparently. And when he was in Nutshell, and he wrote this song, Be O Peaceful. And I did an album with him called The Rhythms of the Heart, which has got this song on it. Go peaceful in gentleness through the violence of these days. Give freely, show tenderness in all your ways. Through darkness, in troubled times, let holiness be your aim. Seek wisdom, let faithfulness burn like a flame. God speed you, God lead you, and keep you wrapped around his heart. May you be known by love. People want to hear from you, so you sing this one.
Be righteous, speak truthfully in a world of greed and lies. Show kindness, see everyone through heaven's eyes.
God hold you,
enfold you,
and keep you
wrapped around his heart.
May you
be known
by love. This is for all the pupils and staff at Kingswood School, my son's school up in Bath, and for Jackie, who's
Yeah. Can I also say it's for Lynn? Lynn, you lost your mum today, but you are with us tonight, and we just want to say that we love you and we're thinking of you, and this song has been for you.
God hold you, enfold you, and keep you wrapped around his heart. May you be known by love. We used to play this so many times with our boys in the band, we send it out, all of that. God hold you all. Matthew, Daniel, Nicholas, Rose, and Julia,
and the girls,
Poppy, and Lily. And God keep you all very safe wherever you are. We think about you and everybody's children. We pray there's safety on them too. Amen. Sue, you want to do your...
Yes.
Bang.
So, here we go. We just want to give you a couple of minutes just to have a think about anything that you might want to get. We have got lots of CDs and books still in our cupboard. And
we really have.
Many of you have been buying them, and that's great.
Yeah,
and,
that is great.
But these are at sort of cheap prices because we would really like to sort of empty our cupboard a bit. The books, many people have been...
Can I just say? Sorry, can I just say? A big shout out, and I didn't say this to people in St Vincent.
That's because you didn't sing that particular song.
What did I? Oh, did I not sing King of Kings?
King of Kings. See, he doesn't know what he sung.
I will sing it for you next week. I promise.
Okay, so back to me. All right.
Yeah, sorry.
So
Suddenly
many of you have bought the books, and that's fantastic. So thank you very much. And they are very funny. I'm sure you're enjoying them very much. So there are 2 books, and there we are. One, Finding My Voice, and the other one, On a Similar Note. No, you're looking at the wrong camera. No, all right then. No. It doesn't matter. Okay. And so, yes, they're both very funny. Now, the CD that you saw earlier, the video that you saw earlier, many of you have been buying this, and I hope you've been enjoying it.
Yeah.
We recorded the concert that we did up at All Souls back in 2013, and from it we made a live CD because it feels very different live than it does in a recording studio. So we recorded it and we made a live CD, and with it you get a free DVD, so you can see the whole thing, and also the sort of scenes that you saw. So yes, it was 2013, so that was 7 years ago, so it looked a bit dated, but the great songs, lovely selection,
and the orchestra,
very much the kind of thing that Jonathan does in this kind of event. Lots of different sorts of songs, but the band was great, the orchestra was great, so it's a great product. Travelling Songs is a fun album that a lot of people really love. How Sweet It Is to Be Loved by You.
People get ready. Happy Day, brilliant. It's how Have a Talk with God. That's a bit of Stevie Wonder, and then His Eyes on the Sparrow, which I was always going to do. I sing because I'm happy. I sing because I'm free. His eyes on the sparrow, and he watches over me. That was with one finger, just one finger. You're so difficult to impress, aren't you?
Okay,
right.
So those 2 in particular, and
so many others.
They are all on the website, which is www.jonathanveira.com. Now, on each of them, each of them, they have all the tracks that you can listen to. The books are £8 each. The CDs are all £8 each, apart from the latest one, which is Hymns Project 2, which is a fantastic album. But you can listen to all of them. So you can go and have a little peruse and decide which ones you want. If you want to send them to someone and get Jonathan to sign them for someone, then we can do that. That's not a problem. And for those of you who have donated and to our ministry, that has been a real blessing. So thank you so much. That really has helped. And last week we were able to give a nice amount of money to Rachel for her Young Minds charity. Now this week we are going to give 20%, 25% of anything that you give to food banks, because there's still a huge amount of need out there, and we still want to help be working towards meeting that need for people.
So if you can think of a specific food bank that you know of, that you out there know of, right? That we can't, obviously you can't do it all, so just the first person that writes in, we will donate the money to that food bank. All right.
So if you're going to go onto the website, it's www.jonathanveira.com. If you want to donate, you can either do it through PayPal, which is paypal.me/JonathanVeira, all one word. Don't put a gap in, because otherwise it all goes to some Jonathan in New York, apparently. If you're not happy using PayPal, that's fine. Send us a message and I'm more than happy to give you the bank account details. So please, if you would like to donate, that would be wonderful. Thank you very much.
It has helped us enormously to keep this show on the road, and it does cost to do it. So we thank you for doing it, and just for helping us to live during this difficult time. And we've tried to equally help others. And this song with King of Kings, Majesty, God of heaven, living in me, gentle Savior, closest friend, strong deliverer, beginning and end. All within me cries out in praise, Your Majesty. I can but bow, I lay my all before you now. In royal robes I don't deserve, I live to serve your majesty. I live to serve your majesty. And as we come to the end, we just we thank you for coming in and being with us on the evening with JV at the Steinway room and with Sue. And that was for people in St Vincent living in, listening, all of you listening to St Vincent at the moment, and in Canada, all my family, the Veira family, particularly for Sam and Judy Veira, listening in on that one. That was one of their favourite songs from the past. And this one, we finish with this, as we always do. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face to shine on you. The Lord bless you and keep you and give you his peace. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face to shine on you. The Lord bless you and keep you and give you his peace and give you his peace. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord turn his face toward you. The Lord bless you and keep you and be gracious to you. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord turn his face toward you. The Lord bless you and keep you and be gracious to you. Be gracious to you. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face to shine on you. The Lord bless you and keep you and give you his peace and give you his peace. Good night, God bless you, and see you next week.